Hello, my name is DC. I'll be giving a match analysis for York United versus Atletico Ottawa in the TELUS Canadian Championship. Let's get into this because there are lots of goals to go through. Also, note by the previous match had ended 2-1 in favor of Atletico Ottawa. Alright, so York United here have the ball, and also Atletico Ottawa look very good in the dark kit, the black one. The black kit looks really cold. It looks really good. Alright, so York United get the ball, right? Now, here's the problem that I have, because as this player pushed the ball forward, alright, so yes, there are two players behind him, but the funny thing is that here, they have, they not only do they have the manpower, but they also have the ability to at least sacrifice one person. He can go towards the ball, but now the problem is that he keeps tracking back. I understand that he's going towards the back of the goal and then he risks, but he definitely has a chance to do something better here, because if we play it back a bit, and the funny thing is that it's always a few frames you end up going back, not really like a second or like 5 seconds. Like here, as he starts in between these two midfielders, he gets the ball and he just simply gets past him. This is why sometimes you'd rather have a staggered midfield. One person in front, one person slightly behind, so in case if he goes past this one, you have this other person to deal with. If we let it play, he's just given all the time in the world. And then at this point here, the player, him, should definitely aim to tuck in. Because if he continues running straight, then I don't really know what he's doing. Because at this point, the danger is on this side of the pitch. I don't know why he's excluding himself by being there. He could move towards this area so that he at least help his teammate. And then if you notice, he continues running straight. He does. I know that he's far, but at least show the change of direction, because at this point he was very far. I do feel he could sacrifice himself to just try and prevent him from making that pass forward. And then now it's a lovely weighted pass, and he can run to go one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And then here, goalkeeper runs out, but I think the goalkeeper had a bit more time. Maybe let him come into the box and then you rush out, because he just gave him the whole go here. But he is one-on-one, so whatever the keeper decides, it's okay, because there's no defense to help him. That's a really good, how can I say, chipped finish. Alright, so this is actually a very funny goal. It comes from the hard work of Salter. Now, when you're playing from the back, you have to realize there are certain times you can play out of the back, and then there are certain times whereby it's okay kicking the ball away. Because if you look at this here, he's covered, and whichever player, and he's here, and this pass really isn't possible. And he will immediately be pressured. So at this point, you have no one to pass to. And then what he does here is brave, because there is a player tracking him, and that player's name is Salter, who has been scoring a lot of goals of late. So he takes a big touch here. And at this point, most of the players that he wants to pass to are covered. He's covered, he's covered, he's covered, and I know there's space, but he is in a way covered, because by the time the ball receives, he receives it, he's probably going to be close to him. And then at this point here, I mean, he's too casual on the ball. And the funny thing is that him making that little run opens up the space for it to go to him. He quickly plays it to him, and then probably they can get going. But I don't know who he's trying to pass to, really. He's trying to pass to him, but that's the worst option, because there's a man there. He's better off passing it to him or just kicking it out, holding on to the ball for too long. And then eventually, Salter makes an effort. He puts in the work, gets in the tackle, and his teammate benefits from that first time finish. And just like that, terrible defending there. Not really terrible defending, but just failure to recognize where to let the ball go. He did the first part well, but he should have let the ball go earlier, considering that there was a person following him. Alright, so next goal that scored. And funny enough, the people that score are the team that's defending. Football can be very funny at times. Alright, so what happens here? Ball is crossed in. Heavy touch, because I do feel you could have done a really quick 1-2, take it to one leg, immediately shoot it. But yeah, blocked. Now at this point, there's a certain point where, at this point here, there is no problem with taking the ball back and restarting, because you're already outnumbered in the box, you don't have the best angles to shoot, so him taking it backwards would have actually been more helpful than trying to continue forcing the ball forwards in what he does here, because eventually he kicks it out. And then now, how many players do we see here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 York United players. And then now, let's see how many. Alright, so already here, Salter, very good. Okay, ever since I started watching the Canadian Premier League, Salter, I've really enjoyed watching him. Even though they're just highlights, I like his general overall play. Alright, so Salter, as you can see, number 5 doesn't even bother to jump. By the time he's thinking about jumping, Salter has already jumped. He looks like a very physical guy. He wins the first header. He wins it very well. Now you know what, good on him. Because rather than him, hesitating, waiting, he immediately goes to try and win the ball. And he does it very quickly. Here, the funny thing is that he does get first contact. Unfortunately, it lands to Salter. So, yeah, he loses the ball, but you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to commend the effort, because he immediately went there and he got the ball. It's just that Salter, it's just that it deflected onto Salter. And then, yeah, at that point, Salter is gone. That little turn he does, he's gone. And the player that jumped for the header is still down. I feel as if he's dived and he's waiting for something. Because look at this. The player that jumped is here. The one that jumped with him is still down. I think he's trying to buy a foul. Alright, so Salter here immediately recognizes the player in space. Yes, you could play it forward, but there's not really much that would happen with him. And then what I do like here is the movement from Salter. He passes it and then he doesn't just stay in one place. He passes it and he continues to look at that. He is just confusing them, and at this point, he could engage. He would be the cover. But instead, they just watch. They're just tracking back. At a certain point, you just have to follow the ball, because this thing of just I don't know if I can say shadow marking or just looking at the ball, it's not really good, especially if it becomes a habit. Because here, if one person just took the initiative to just follow, be man, or just follow the man or follow the ball, I don't think he would have really taken the shot. And they've forgotten about Salter. He's run at an angle where they're not really focused on him, they're just focused on the man with the ball. He takes a shot, saved by the keeper, but I feel the keeper could have done better. By better, it's the way he parries the ball. I think he could have parried it in towards his teammates rather than into the open space, in which Salter scores. He won the first duel and then he scores the goal. Salter. He's been great to watch, I'm not gonna lie. Look at him sprinkling all that salt. Yeah, but alright, let's head on to the red card of the game. And let's be honest, it's an obvious red card. Alright, long boys played, right? Now, the player here already loses this way too quickly. And then, this is Salter, very physical player. I like how, you see right there. Because he doesn't even, so what he does is that he puts all the attention from the defender towards him. He gets physical with the defender is fighting with him, yet the ball hasn't yet even landed. He's just done that to confuse the defender, and the defender drags him down. And then if we look a bit closer, as the ball is coming, Salter escapes, and is there any intention to play the ball? No. Is this a denial of a clear goal? Is it a denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity? Yes. These two here qualify for a red card. We'll just put Ara for red. Yes. It's simple, really. It's really a silly mistake. He's focused so much on battling. He could have just gone shoulder to shoulder with Salter and then probably tried to fight for the first bounce. Otherwise, we move forward. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't supposed to do that. Alright, so York United here have the ball. At this point, they are down, but they're looking to push forward. Now, here, uh, okay, the way it is that, yeah, let's assume this is the front three. So, by him moving forward, they've bypassed the front three. So, what are we left with here? This is the midfield, and this is maybe there's a left back or so that has climbed up. I don't know. Yeah, so the first part has been breached. So what you don't want is to immediately go and pressure, because when you do that, it means that you create even more problems. What you're supposed to do is do what he did. He was here and then he immediately tracked back. Yes, you're giving him space into run too, but it's like this. If he tracked back here, yes, would he have space to push the ball forward? Yes, but eventually he would reach a point where he cannot move forward anymore because like there's men and players there to block him. But unfortunately, he gets just a little bit too excited and easily gets past him. So now, if he was here, yes, he would have moved forward, but he would have eventually stopped. But now, since he's gotten past one, and you know how some defenders are when they get on a run, and then he slips, and then if he just tracked back, there was no need for him to follow that ball. The first three players were the first line of three was gotten past, so he's just supposed to track back and then hold something, create a shape so that it's harder for the person to progress forward. Since there's no person in the middle, the player that was here maybe could have reacted faster, but he probably didn't expect his teammate to get beaten past so easily. And then this defender is quick, really is. And at this point, they can sacrifice someone. By sacrifice, I mean there's someone that can go forward to try and attempt to go for the ball, and then he can be there to cover. Unfortunately, no. They're all just tracking back. They're all just tracking back. Good on him. He's running on the blind side of the defender. They can't really see him. He's probably just a distraction because I'm pretty sure. And then they're not really close to him again. But the defender here has all the time in the world. Maybe foul him if you're not on a yellow. I'm not sure if he was on a yellow. And then it's a lovely weighted ball. And the funny thing, he could have passed to him also because he's not being marked. Number 4 can see everything that's happening here. He should be much closer. His attention is here. So yeah, number 4 should definitely do much better because these guys could sacrifice for one person to go and they'll still have enough cover to deal with the through ball in case it reaches, because so that they just avoid this pass from being played in the first place. And then now it's a simple ball, and then just it's how easy this player runs because he was here in between the two defenders, and then now he's just run past the person that was next to him so that he could position himself for the best tap in. Yeah, and there's nothing the goalkeeper could do there. Really, there was nothing the goalkeeper could do. Alright, let's head on to the next goal. Should be somewhere here. Alright, so once again, York United, they definitely put up a fight. Alright, so he has the ball in a pretty far area. He leaves it to his teammate now. I understand they want to play deeper, but at this point in time, because number 1, it's this. The least you can do is go out and block out passing angles to the center. You can discourage him to play any ball within this area because right now you've given him the time and the space, which is okay, but there's a player right here who can receive on the turn, which you really don't want. They could have done better at marking and also, how can I say this, covering. What's this? Cover shadows, whereby you mark someone and then you block out that angle for passing to someone. So already that's not good. And then they've given him time to look up. I mean, gap is too big between the midfield and the defense because okay, this guy here, because I saw another game where he made a turn and then he actually went on to do a 1-2, scored. He's given way too much time to think because these guys are playing a high line. It really is. As long as people can run into the space behind you, it's a high line. And then high line, no pressure. We just put a high line we'll put a negative, yeah, plus no pressure equals problems. Very big problems. They don't, you don't do that. If you are going to commit to a defense or just being, or some sort of a block, you always make sure that there's a little gap or you're just right in front of the defense. But the gaps are too huge. He's given so much time and space to put in a cross. And this is a really, I mean, some would say schoolboy defending, because if one long ball can cause all these problems, something's not right. Something is not set right. I mean, these two are close to the attackers. I don't know what's happened. Not these two, these three were all close to them. They just let them slip past. And this is a good finish. Good touch. It goes, yeah, the goalkeeper was trying to make himself big, but you know what? That's a good finish. Maybe the goalkeeper could have approached that different. Probably could have. Anyway, let's head on to the next goal. Now this one here. Oh, by the way, the ref gave a red card to the kitman. Funniest thing. I think he gave a red card to him. Yeah, he got the red card. Red card was given to the kitman. I mean, how many times do you see the kitman getting a red card? Alright, so long ball played. Now, what do you think the goalkeeper does? What do you think he does? Have you guessed it? I don't know. I really don't know. But the keeper here panics terribly. Because at first when I saw this, I thought, no, he had a lot of momentum, but he could have waited for that ball to jump into his arms. He could have caught that. You're a goalkeeper, and you are well within your boundaries here. Very well within your boundaries, and you decided to head it. And not only did you head it away, you headed it straight into the path of your opponent, and he takes it on first time. It's one of those loopy balls that takes a lot of time to arrive. So now here, I understand what they're trying to do, but the way it is, and long shots, right? This is a long shot. So when you take a shot from distance, the probability of you scoring first time are low. But let's just say, maybe like, let's just make a fake graph. You scoring directly from a long shot. How can I say this? You know what? Let's just, yeah, you know what I mean. You scoring directly from a long shot, maybe chances are there. You scoring from a deflection or rebound or just the second bounce of the ball, your chances go higher up. I don't even know if that's a proper graph. Anyway, so this is something one person can do, because these two in a way almost confuse each other. And then not only that, but there's a person who will immediately look to pounce upon the clearance. He's alone, unmarked, and then at this point the goalkeeper is the reason for this. By the time he's coming back into the goal, he even has enough time to chest it down. That's how much time he had. And now the problem that I've noticed, how many players do you have there? 4 players. 4 players in the goal, and the ball will still be scored. Any one of them could have gone to just make sure that he does not get a clean shot off the deflection or clearance. And before, do we count this as an assist because he's pointing to just shoot? Yeah, he knew he was going to score even before he took that. Immediately he chested, he knew. Chest rocket. Salter. What are you going to tell him? What are you going to tell Salter? Nothing. Because he is in excellent form. Yeah, but the goalkeeper here, he put his teammates in problems. He really did. Salter is really scoring goals for fun. I mean, this, I wouldn't expect a goalkeeper, especially at this level. You see, number 6, I think this is number 6. He could have immediately sprinted, but instead, I mean, he could have immediately sprinted to make sure that Salter does not get anything clean or he's there to make the block. He takes his time, and then that's how hard he can hit it. Vroom! Goal, just like that. Alright, so we're heading to the next goal of the game. Salter making a lot of Atletico Ottawa fans happy. Okay. Now at this point here, I do feel this is another goalkeeping error because this player Scott Sissoko, he takes a touch, player rushed, he rushed. So what it is that let's say you want, let's see, left bar, right bar. Okay, this is a line, right? And then sometimes you're better off holding what you have here. You're better off just staying in your shape. Because once you move, you encourage the person to just get across you. And then at this point here, he's feeling really confident. He takes the shot. That's for me, the goalkeeper could have. I do feel we could have definitely done better. Unless maybe if we see another angle, that probably changes our opinion. Let's see. There's probably a better angle. I think this one here. Because yeah, if he stays deep, I think this goal doesn't get scored, or maybe something else happens. But he invites him, gets past him, and then this shot here. Still, I think the next angle will be much more sufficient. Alright, so let's see where the goal gets past the keeper. Maybe it wasn't as bad, but you know. Okay, we'll just put it on question mark because I do feel the goalkeeper could have done better there. But the defender, also the lack of the midfielders being there to cover for the defense, you know, that's also led to the goal. Very entertaining game. This would definitely be a classic. A classic game. Great game to see. Tons of goals. Salter. So is it Salter? I think yeah, Salter scores. I don't know. I usually confuse them with Salad. I don't know why I like saying Salad. Otherwise, great game. Kudos for Atletico Ottawa for getting the job done. Otherwise, that's been my match analysis. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.